And welcome to the Dalles Chamber of Community Affairs. Today, our guest is Charlotte Meeks. She is with the Gorge Youth Mentoring program of the Next Door, which is an amazing program. And I'm excited to hear what they're doing and where the community can step up and be a part of and be volunteers. And so I know that that's been a need in the past, so we'll see if that still is. But we're going to start with introductions so that she knows who's on this screen. And if you keep it short, what is happening. So I'm going to start with Scott.
Good morning, everyone. Scott McKay. I'm the community liaison for Circles of Care. We connect volunteers with older adults who need some kind of periodic support, such as friendly visits or transportation or light housekeeping, that type of thing. So if you want to volunteer with an older adult as well as a young person, you can always give us a call. Thank you.
Thank you. Corliss.
Good morning. Good morning, Charlotte.
Good morning.
I know Charlotte. I'm with Habitat for Humanity and the library and the senior center. And the big news is this Saturday is Habitat's annual bazaar. And we serve soup and pie for lunch for a great deal for $8. But come on down, it's at the UCC Church on 5th and Court. And it's in the basement. And we're open from 10 to 2.
Awesome. And if you want to know more of the craft shows that are going on, we have a link on the front page of our website, thedallschamber.com, of the ones that we could find and catch. So, Phil Brady.
Good morning, Phil Brady, Wasco County Commissioner. My happy news this day is kind of outside the Dalles, outside the Gorge. It's all the way down in Arlington, in Antelope. Excuse me, Antelope community with, I want to give her credit individually. Brandy McNamee has been working for several years to establish Antelope as a designated a dark sky community, and they finally got recognition by the Dark Sky International. So other places are doing good work like Mosier to be a dark sky community, but it's aspirational. In Antelope, it's actual. They've been measured, their dark sky is really dark, and this is going to become a tourism attraction for them. Astronomer people like myself who want to get out of the big city and have a place to stay in a dark place can go to Antelope. Brandy's actually bringing some of the old call them cottages, little A-frames from Rajneeshpuram, from Big Muddy up into Antelope and making a little RV park and cottage facility for people to rent.
Phil, I was just there yesterday. I rode shotgun with the bookmobile and we went to Antelope and I got to see those A-frames and it was great.
Just got to restart the cafe and the reason I kind of gush with pride for this is for Antelope, because this is reforming the city's identity, that they're going to get away from the Wild West.
Right, yeah.
Have the sense, okay, we're a small, quiet community where you can see the Milky Way from Main Street. It's pretty cool.
Awesome. Dave Peters.
Good morning, everybody. Dave Peters, Columbia Cascade Housing, Columbia Housing Authority. Not too much to report now. We are looking for someone to take over the Housing Resource Center, my position, and I'll switch over to be a counselor. So if you know anybody that's got management skills, send them our way. Thanks.
Awesome. All right. So I'm Lisa Farquharson with the Dalles Chamber. There is a lot going on as far as just our community has a ton of different activities going on with the holidays, shopping, and of course, we need to support local more than anything. So our e-blast had a tons of different specials going on. And then of course, we're doing our normal every Wednesday at Scoopers from 7 to 9 and every Thursday from 7 to 8 on Zoom for community affairs. The week of Christmas and the week of New Year's, we will not be having community affairs or anything else. We're just leaving those blank. So no events those 2 weeks. So that is what we have. And we do have cherries and chocolate covered blueberries for sale at the chamber to help the dance team and the high schoolers. So if you're looking for those and you have not located them, we do have them here at the chamber. So for sale. So with that, Charlotte, I'm going to let you take over. When you're sharing the screen, sometimes it's hard to see any questions. So I will make sure to be watching and then can grab some questions if they pop up.
Okay, in the chat.
Yep, that or
Okay.
if they raise their hand. This is a very informal group, so they just may raise their hand. So I will try to catch it so that we can get their question asked and answered.
Okay, that sounds great. And then if there's any more in-depth questions, then after my little slideshow, then I'd be happy to take them.
Awesome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So I'm Charlotte Meeks. I coordinate Gorge Youth Mentoring. I think that most of you have probably heard of it. I would hope that most of you have heard of it. We've been trying to get our name out there as much as possible. Corliss is here, one of our mentors. Yeah, so I'm gonna set up my screen share and start my presentation for you guys. Okay, can you guys see that okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So Gorge Youth Mentoring, as some of you may know, is a program through the Next Door. The Next Door has over 30 programs now and continues to grow to serve youth and families in our community. Gorge Youth Mentoring is a community-based mentoring program serving Wasco, Hood River, and Klickitat counties, where we match youth in need of a positive role model with an adult volunteer. We thoroughly screen our volunteers to ensure participant safety, and we go through an intake process with our youth and their family, their parent and guardian, in order to make the best match possible. Our screening process for volunteers looks like we do a background check. We meet with them in their home for a couple of hours and get to know them as best as possible to make sure that they're a good fit for our program, safe and all of that. And then also to get to know their strengths and what they have to offer. That way, when we do match them, it can correspond with the youth's interests and needs. So once they're matched, they plan their own activities. It's a pretty independent program. Once they are matched, we check in with them once a month for the first year and then quarterly after that. But planning their hangouts is pretty much up to them, their schedule. It's pretty flexible. We just ask that they meet up about twice a month or so for at least a year. And then in addition to that, we provide monthly events for matches to participate in. That is actually one thing that's changing. We've been going through a lot of transitions lately, actually, with staffing changes and also wanting to like participation for the monthly events can really vary. So we're hoping to do like quarterly events and just have 4 bigger, better events rather than smaller monthly events. Yeah, so on this slide, you can see some examples of the things that we do for our group activities. We've done ice cream socials. We do an annual pumpkin carving event, which is really fun. And then we have a picture here of a rafting trip that they went on. I wasn't a part of that, but it's definitely something that's frequently asked for again. And then, yeah, the last few years at least, we've done a stand-up paddleboard clinic that through Wild Wind and Water in Hood River, and they've done a really excellent job of I'm sorry, my phone just started ringing in the background. Is that Can you guys hear that? Is it too loud? Okay, great. Yeah, they do a really excellent job of like getting everybody all geared up, providing all of the supplies and really clear instruction for all skill levels. We've even had some youth that have never been paddleboarding, and one last year that had never been like swimming in a lake or a river. And so that was really exciting. She didn't want to get out of the water after that. As far as how youth come into our program, we receive referrals for youth needing extra support from community partners such as teachers or counselors within our school districts, Mid-Columbia Center for Living, and other youth serving organizations. Families can also self-refer, so they can just reach out to me, the match coordinator, or even if they just look up the next store and call, then they'll transfer them to the right person and make sure that they can get in touch with us, learn more about the program, and hopefully get enrolled. So mentoring, research shows that mentoring programs prevent negative outcomes and promote resiliency for at-risk youth. There's a lot of research on the benefits of mentoring, but some of the highlights that I wanted to include are that I'm gonna move this guy. With positive mentors, they're 92% more likely to volunteer in their communities, which is great. 75% more likely to have held a leadership position in a club or sports team, and 22% more likely to have experienced a strong sense of belonging while growing up. Yeah, all of those things to me just are life-changing, not only for the individuals and their families and their future families, but also the community. So I definitely believe that matching these youth with positive mentors is extremely impactful on their lives. So to give you guys a little update on our different areas. Right now we have in Hood River, Bingen, and White Salmon, we have 24 matches right now. We have probably about 18 youth on our wait list, and we have a small handful of mentors that we're bringing in right now. We're constantly bringing in new mentors and then kind of matching them as we go, and then closing out matches as they age out. For Wasco County, Lisle, and Klickitat, we currently have 18 matches and several in progress, which is really exciting. I think in the next couple months, we'll be able to get probably 5 or 6 more youth off the wait list and with their new buddies. So Jim is looking for new volunteer mentors of all kinds. We have a diverse set of youth enrolled who are currently just waiting for the right mentor to come into the program so they can finally be matched. We seek mentors from all backgrounds and cultures, and due to the demographics of many of our youth, we have been emphasizing more than ever our need for mentors who are Latino, Native American, or LGBTQIA+. Our current recruitment, volunteer recruitment methods are community events such as the farmers market. We've gone to churches, other like music events, just different community events, presentations like this, or we've done like last year, we went to the Rotary and talked to everybody there. And then word of mouth is a huge one. I would say that's the most impactful. Most of our mentors say that they found out about us through a friend that mentors, or somebody that saw a presentation about it and thought of them. And then flyers around town. I've copied a flyer that I just finished making onto this slide, and I'm planning to print that out hopefully sometime this week or next week, and maybe you guys will see it around town. And then we got a new billboard in the Dalles. I don't know if anyone's seen it. It's over by Safeway. So we're hoping that that will bring more people in and we can serve more of the youth. Banners, we have a couple banners printed that we hung one up at Jackson Park and Hood River for a little while, but we're always looking for more places to hang up those banners too. So if anybody knows of or has any ideas of where one of those big banners could be hung up, then let me know. And then Mentor Connections events over the last excuse me. Over the last few months, I've started hosting a Mentors Connection night. We have a Mentors night and a coffee time once a month. And it's for all of the mentors that we have to be able to connect with each other, have somebody to relate to, and just brainstorm ideas and support each other. But I've been encouraging anybody that is interested in becoming a mentor or has it's crossed their mind, but they're not quite sure if they can picture themselves doing it. I've been encouraging them to attend those mentor nights or coffee times so that they can experience through the mentor's eyes what it's like being a mentor, and get a better idea if that's something they want to do for themselves. And we are also always open to recruitment ideas. So if I hope that whoever I'm talking to, if anybody ever has any ideas of where we could find mentors, to please let me know. So I did want to talk about our program's current specific needs for our different counties. I'll start with Wasco County since this is based out of the Dalles. We need male mentors right now. We have several male youth on our wait list that are in the program specifically because they need a male role model, or some of them might have a male role model, but they need one outside of their home. It's just a different experience, a different kind of respect when it's somebody else that's not in their family. So yeah, we don't get as many male mentors as we do females coming in. So yeah, we're definitely always looking for male mentors. We're also looking for youth that can benefit from a female mentor. We have we probably have 5 female mentors available right now that are amazing humans, have passed the screening process, and they're just ready to be matched. But we don't have any youth that are looking for a female mentor right now. So female youth or youth of any gender that aren't in the program looking for a male role model. Yeah, if anybody like that signs up, then we'll be able to get them matched pretty quickly. And then another Wasco County thing is we're looking for mentors that live in the surrounding towns outside of the Dalles. Some examples are Maupin and Dufur. We've had youth on our wait lists from those towns, but either we don't have any volunteers from those places, so either they end up on the wait list for a long time, or we end up matching them with somebody that lives in the Dalles, which can be complicated and doesn't really set them up for as much success as we would like. And then quickly, I'll just go over Hood River. We have youth with all different needs on our wait list in Hood River. We're looking for any mentors with different skill sets. We are particularly looking for bilingual mentors in all counties, but in Hood River, we have several youth whose families are Spanish speaking. So bilingual mentors is a really important thing. We've been putting a big push out for that and have actually went from very limited bilingual mentors to new mentors that are bilingual, and then like a couple other inquiries about it, which is really cool. And then as part of our funding requires us to find matches in to involve matches that live in Cascade Locks, and we don't have any currently. So anybody in Cascade Locks we're interested in enrolling. And then Klickitat County, our funding is pretty limited there. So we've been working with the matches that we have existing, but we haven't really been putting any big pushes or recruitment out in Klickitat County right now. I would love to see that change. They deserve to be served and face a lot of challenges with more limited resources over there. But that's a whole big topic of its own, and that I continue to advocate for. And we do accept new people from Klickitat County. We just aren't really putting any big pushes out there right now. So that's it for my like presentation-y part. Thank you for listening. And I do want to answer questions, and during the question portion, I actually have more pictures and a bunch of positive reviews from mentors about our program on these slides. So I'll just kind of slowly flip through them while I'm answering questions.
Okay.
Bill, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was trying to find the hand here. Got a couple
That's
questions.
okay. We'll just let you ask.
Okay, I'll start up here. How many of the mentors are parents with their own kids, and how does that work if you bring a mentee into a family?
Yeah, well, I don't have an exact number, but we do have a good handful of mentors that do have children of their own. And in my experience, it's worked out pretty seamlessly. It's added to, I mean, there's pros and cons. People with their own children are, often busier and stuff like that. But also it can lead the youth to feel a little bit more comfortable with them right off the bat as well. It builds trust. They know that they have experience with kids, and we do make sure that matches are focusing on a one-on-one relationship between the youth and the mentor. But they can and do family activities as well. So they're kind of integrated into each other's lives with other friends and family members on both ends of the match, but just the majority of their meetups have to be one-on-one. Does that answer that? Do you have any more?
Yeah, go ahead. Dave has a question.
Well, just not really a question. Have you reached out to the Hood River Latino group? They're fairly new. They're pretty active, and they have many events going on. And I would suggest you participate in some of their events if you want to have a good outreach into that community. And I can give you some contacts or send them through Lisa if you don't.
Okay, yeah, no, we actually haven't. That has come up before, but yeah, thank you for the suggestion, and I'll definitely look into that. I know some people that I do work closely with at the next door are involved in that as well, so I could reach out to them and see about getting the message to that group.
Yeah, they actually have an event on the 14th of this month. You can maybe set up a table or something.
Okay. Yeah, I will look into it. Thank you very much.
I'll jump in here on piggyback on that, working with the Latino group. When I lived in Venezuela and social structures differ from one place to another, there was the concept of comadre, comadre. That sounds a bit like this. It'd be somewhat similar to godparents in North American culture. Just offer that as it could be a way that, and I don't know if that exactly matches North American Latino and US based Latinos, but it could be a kind of a structure that the traditional Latinos say, oh yeah, compadre. In fact, they'd say compa. I was a compadre to a couple of kids in Venezuela. Let me ask another question. I'm familiar with a friend who has involved in the Big Brother, little brother, Big Brother, little sister, that group. Is this the same, different, and is that a different organization?
Oops, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was having like some technical difficulties for a second.
So the question was, is this similar to the Big Little Brother Sister program?
Yes, yeah. We used to be Big Brothers, Big Sisters, actually, and then changed to sorry. And then we changed to Gorge Youth Mentoring. I think there was like additional fees to be a part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters name, and then there was also other limitations. We had to stop serving at a certain age, but now we have a little bit more control over like the functioning of our program, and we're able to serve you through 21 now, which myself and everybody involved that I've ever talked to with the program pretty much believe that it's a really important time to have a mentor or to maintain your mentor as you're going into young adulthood and transitioning out of high school and getting a job, moving out, all of that stuff. So. But we function very similarly.
Okay. And so just to wrap up, so there's not a Big Brother, Little Brother, Sister program active in the Gorge at this time. You're it now.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
I just messed up my slides and I just wanted to switch it back to some of our quotes in case anybody wanted to look over them. There we go.
There you go. All right,
Scott,
yeah, he's got his hands up there. Go ahead.
oh, you're on mute.
It was my turn to be on mute. Just listening to your presentation, I saw so many similarities with the program that I'm working with, Circles of Care, trying to identify those, making matches, and then the match, the volunteer and the member of Circles of Care, they can work out the schedule and everything like that. So I'm picking up some ideas of what you've been doing to maybe embellish or to improve the program I'm working with. But one of the things one of the selling points is that it's very flexible, like youth mentoring, and also the time commitment. Generally, all time commitments, for one match would be an hour and a half for a friendly visit once a week. So I just talked to a potential volunteer for Circles of Care yesterday, and she also was a youth mentor back in Eugene when she went to school, at the U of O. And if I was going to tell her, if you would like to, I want you to continue. I want you to volunteer for Circles of Care, but if you also want to work with youth, what would be the time commitment for a youth mentor? Because she doesn't have a whole lot of time, and because she's working. But so if I was going to try to sell the program to her, what should probably ask, well, how much time do I need to, commit? What should I say?
Um, we ask that people that mentors meet up with their youth twice a month, and usually it's just for a couple of hours at least. It is flexible to where people can do what works for them, just as long as it's generally twice a month. Sometimes people have to skip a month if they're out of town that week, or I mean that month, or if it's flu season and people are just taking turns being sick and not being able to meet up, or different things. So we're not super strict about the time commitment, just in general, twice a month, for at least a couple hours or a few hours. Yeah, and then we have people that meet up weekly because that's what works best for them, to meet one day a week for an hour or two after school.
Do you
Yeah.
track those? Do you track those mentoring hours for grants and that type of thing?
Yes, we do. We check with people about how many hours that they're meeting up with their youth. We're actually looking into different tools to be able to better track it. But yeah, we don't track them in a way where we're, are you meeting your quota, or anything like that. But yeah, for we have, for our in-kind donation stuff for our grants, we need to track those things.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me chime in and tell you what my experience has been, because I have a mentee who is just graduated, and we had a hard time meeting up with our schedules. I mean, and she lived in Mosier. So what we would do is we both like to eat. So we visited new restaurants and we just chatted, and that's what we did. So it was a fun time. And so she graduated, she was busy, was working, but she went into the military. So I haven't contacted her yet since she's been back from basic training, but I will. So
Thank you, Corliss.
If she's your mentee, Carly, she will be one of those 75% leading a social group here and soon. I'm thinking this is a great thing for adults who without grandchildren, which is becoming a social group here. I have some grandsons now, and it's a privilege to have a grandchild, and the experience is actually, I'll put it two ways. From my, it's like a responsibility because he looks up to me so much, and then from my daughter's says, oh, he's always on good behavior when he has an adult's undivided attention. So I can see how this plays out. So you're talking a lot about, Corliss, thank you for mentioning that, because I was going to ask, what's the balance between having fun and mentoring in the sense of life lessons, and talking about, is it just kind of to witness? Actually, there's a lot to that, just to witness on how another person is dealing with their issues, an adult, because then the kid sees how adults do things. The question is, how much of it is kind of active mentoring versus being together?
Corliss, do you want to add to that, or I can jump in?
go ahead.
Okay. So I actually was just talking to a mentor who he had, it's actually this bottom quote that I have up right now. He says, working with my first mentee over 8 years was a fantastic experience. I recently asked him to text me any examples of how I might have helped him. He sent back 8 specific examples of how I influenced his thinking and behavior. It was a super rewarding moment. So the reason I'm bringing that up is because after he sent me that quote, I asked him what the what the 8 examples of how he positively influenced the kid were, and he forwarded it to me. And it's things like when they were on their way to a fun activity and they were running a little bit late, and the youth or they had this discussion about how it's important not to speed even though that they're running late, because it's only going to save a couple minutes, and it like um it makes a big difference on their safety and on other people's safety, or getting pulled over and then being even later. And so I think a lot of that mentoring stuff that impacts their lives really happens naturally in while they're having fun a lot of the times. But on a different note, they you know, we do have people that make efforts to balance doing fun random activities, and then but they also know that's really important that the youth wants to get better at reading, so they'll switch off every other time where they have a reading session one week and then they go out on a walk the next week, or things like that. So they could balance it by switching off or incorporating different things. The ones that that want to get better at reading, but also it's really fun for them to cook. They'll read cookbooks and stuff like that, or find different woodworking projects and read the instructions for those. So everything can kind of like tie in together with fun and learning and improving. Corliss, has your experience been, have you had any experiences with balancing like life lessons and stuff like that with having fun?
Yeah, I think what I probably imparted most to my mentee was that, stay in school. And the opportunities available to you, if you stay in school and trying to, so she ended up taking classes at the college in the skills program. So that was great. And, connected her to being part of the workforce and stuff. I mean, the kind of skills that she wanted to do. I think she wants to be an electrician. So that's just great. I mean, so I just encouraging her to stay in school, go up to the college, take those the classes, and she's been doing it. So that's, yeah.
That's really great. Thank you.
I'm full of
one
questions.
of
Go ahead, Scott.
you had your hand up. You go ahead, Phil.
Okay. My question is, when you're matching people, does social class differences become one of the, I'm going to call it even a barrier? And specifically, I'm thinking of Maupin. There's a social class of people retired moving into Maupin that could be good mentors, but they are, well, way upper class.
Really, there's our matching process is pretty in-depth. We consider so many different factors when matching mentors with youth. There's definitely a place for everyone. And yeah, I mean, for certain families or certain youth, I could see that maybe not being ideal for them to be matched with somebody so different from them, but for others, I mean, it wouldn't really make a difference. Also, I mean, we're able to really discuss and provide support to the mentors as far as like boundaries go and what's appropriate, and incorporating them into each other's lives and stuff like that. Yeah, I think we pretty much work on a case by case basis. So if somebody felt like something, I actually had a mentor ask me because she's a retired physician and they're so is her husband, and they have this huge, beautiful home that they just built after um, an entire life of like living more humbly. They're retired and they have their whole setup right now, and it's extravagant. Um, and she was asking me about that because she, doesn't want to put a youth in a position to where they like might feel like bad about their situation. Um,
I'm going to jump in here, and it takes me in a direction in Maupin that could be a whole program in itself. Um, is the reason these people, and I'm speaking of them, thinking of the men mostly, are moving to Maupin is to go fly fishing. And so you could just tailor this to adults teaching kids to fish. In Maupin, that would be a large social class, and the place to find those people is at the fly shop. And the people who run the fly shops in Maupin are very socially engaged. They form. It's much more than a business. It's about fishing as life. Some people live to fish. Some people fish to live, and so could really jump onto this as a way to reach out to bring kids into fishing.
yeah, that's a really good idea.
Like, what boy does not want to go fishing? That's and if I
Some.
okay, well, you have to find a different mentor for that. But it would be a great mentor-mentee. Go fishing twice a month. That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how we match people too, is there we will get youth, and that is something that comes up, is fishing. We will get youth that they want to go fishing more, but maybe they're in a single parent home, or they live with their grandparents that don't get out of the house much, or just different situations, but they want to go fishing more. And so we'll match them with somebody that loves fishing. It's actually fairly common with some of our matches to do that regularly as an activity. So that is something I could kind of, yeah, if I do outreach in Maupin, I could.
Yeah, seriously, the fly shop people there are see that as a social work. Yeah, so it's good.
Maybe I'll have to reach out to them and just let them know about our program. And
Definitely do it.
okay. Thank you.
I heard you say that for a mentor, there's an interview, a background check, and then is there any required training that they need to complete before they become a mentor?
They have to do a mandatory reporter training so that they can like learn about what types of things need reported. They do become mandatory reporters, and when to report it, how to report it, things like that. And then we do have an orientation packet that is a resource to them. We don't currently have many other like mandatory trainings for them to come into the program, but we do offer additional training sometimes, such as like mental health first aid. Yeah, we've done trainings regarding like suicide awareness or different topics. Training is actually something that we're wanting to incorporate more of too. And then also we're available to if anybody like feels like they need support or more training in a certain area, we can like absolutely get somebody linked up with a class or appropriate training in that area.
And then the whole discussion regarding having grandkids. How many Do you know what percentage of your mentors are retired?
I don't have a percentage on me, but I'd say probably about a third. Um, yeah, we have a good handful of mentors who are retired or whose children have moved out of the house and they're wanting to connect with somebody younger. They're wanting that person to be like, oh, I saw this fun activity at the library, but I'll feel awkward going by myself as an adult. And like they're just really happy to have that person to go to things like that with. And then the youth is very happy to be able to be a part of it as well.
I'm laughing. This is as somebody I can call this kid up to explain what's going on social media and say,
Mm-hmm.
Real quick question, and you may have said it and I just missed it. I know that the Yes House is a totally different program and there's a different set of kids, but is there ever collaboration with some of that so that they can take advantage of some of that mentor program also?
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of funny because I used to work as a drop-in staff member at the Yes House.
Oh, okay.
And like when I got this job, and so anyways, I actually just finished enrolling a couple youth from there that I had known previously from working there on occasion into the program. And one of them I've matched up with a mentor, and the other one is waiting for the right fit still. But yeah, we definitely link up with them. Also, Livia, the director of Yes House, used to work for Gorge Youth Mentoring. She used to work for the next door. So we've been able to communicate, and she has a really good idea about the program too. Yeah.
That's awesome. We've taken some of the kids at the Yes House and taken them out fishing. Especially on the free fishing day, they can go and then they don't have to worry about their license and stuff like that. So we've taken them out. And then we've also had some of the Yes House students come and we've paid them with carnival tickets to help us during Cherry Fest. And so we were their check-in point all day long. So that was it was great. We had young legs to run all over the place for us, but they were eager to do it. And we bought them lunch and provided carnival tickets. So they thought that was the best payment ever. And we thought that was the greatest help ever. So yeah, it was kind of fun just working with them. And they got to see what goes behind the scenes of a big event like that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, the Yes House is so great, and I know their youth are able to be involved in the community in so many different ways. For us, it's really great to be able to get them linked up with a mentor. A lot of the youth that live there have gone through a lot of transitions and might continue to go through a lot of transitions. So to be able to have a mentor that doesn't depend on where they're living or anything like that, and that's their person that can stick with them through the ups and downs and after they leave the Yes House, and yeah, even into both the youth from there that recently were enrolled in the program are now young adults, and but within the age of our program still. So it's like perfect timing to make sure these youth aren't able to just turn 18 and then kind of slip through the cracks or just get dropped off from the services that they've been getting.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. We had fun. We enjoyed taking them out. There was a couple teens, male teens, and so they just had a blast. bringing in the fish. And then we found them helping the little tiny ones out there fish. 'Cause it was a free fishing day, so the banks were lined and it was just cute. It was just fun to watch.
That's amazing. Yeah, those teenagers are usually such great humans. It's really
Yeah.
cool to be able to see
Yeah.
them.
They've been through a lot. They've seen more life than most of us have our entire lives, and they've seen it in a couple years. So it was kind of cool to be able to do that. So, well, thank you so much, Charlotte. We appreciate you being on and just sharing what this is and what the opportunities are and what work is being done for our youth, because this is essential. I don't see any other questions. I did, just so everybody knows, in the chat, I put all of Charlotte's contact information right off the bat, so you have that. And then I also, for Charlotte's benefit and anybody else, I went and grabbed the Hood River Latino Network Facebook page, their email, their website, and their phone number. So that is there also if somebody wanted to grab it and do that. And then I'll actually see if I can do this. I will actually grab Charlotte's email really quick. So if you don't have it, it is now in the chat. Whoops. No, it's not. It didn't paste. Delete. Delete. Let's try pasting that again. Whatever I pasted last, it remembered. There we go. Okay.
Thank you.
So there's that. So everybody has her contact information. And then, you know, I highly encourage if you know somebody who just has that time and can, it's a fulfilling, it's just very fulfilling, heart-wise, mental-wise, all of that. And you're providing something for our youth that they don't have otherwise. So I highly encourage if you do have time, maybe all those retired people that we see on this screen. There's a couple, but I know that they're also very busy. So,
Well, Charlotte, I would really keep an eye out in South County as I move around down there, because I bump into people who like to go fishing, could need somebody to go fishing with.
I think Phil likes fishing.
I think so.
I would like to have more time to go fishing. Right now, though, it's ski season, so I'm busy.
It's a little cold to go fishing.
You can take the kids skiing, Phil.
There you
Yeah.
go. See, look at that. We found something for you to do. But with that, thank you all for being here. There is, like I said, there's a ton of things going on. Tomorrow night is the Festival of Trees. There are Christmas parties, Christmas bazaars, craft shows, all of that is happening. And then the following week is the Sip and Shop that will be in downtown. I believe it's on a Saturday. And that is happening. So there, like I said, there is so many different things. And I'm putting, this is a long link, but it is a PDF to what holiday fairs and craft bazaars that we know of. We keep adding to the list. So if you're looking for something like that and supporting local, I would thoroughly enjoy that and be grateful that you're keeping your dollars here. So with that, everyone have a good weekend. We are almost there. We're so close. And have a just fantastic fun. Find time to breathe. Find time to, of course, support local, but go find something that makes you giggle. We need that. So everyone take care and have a fantastic day.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.